Henry, do you count it as being recognized in public if you're recognized at DNVR events?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would say no. It doesn't.
That's what I would say. It does not count.
Yeah. It doesn't count.
Only instances where I've been recognized.
Really?
Also, I have
That's
a
crazy.
real, arrest and be face, I think.
You think you kind of scare people
I
off?
am not inviting onlookers to come in. Yeah.
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 If I haven't started talking to you, the vibe I give off is very much like...
When you're wearing that tie-dye hoodie, though, that's a very inviting
that's
look.
True.
I think that
That's
brings out
true.
the best in you.
I agree on that. Perfect night, this guy.
Just keeps happening.
Perfect night.
Just keeps happening.
He was on a heater. It just keeps happening. We found Peter Pan's shadow right here.
That's
Anytime I go here, there's a nice...
Wow.
I don't know why I'm doing this.
I love Peter Pan.
Production.
Just coming from the microphone.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a wide microphone.
Production does an outstanding job. We've got great cameras here, but it does feel like extra dark. And I was thinking of Peter Pan's shadow because he can't find that. That's how him and Wendy. Have you seen that
that's how I
movie
hit
lately?
it off. I mean, not lately.
Let me tell you, the most cancelable thing Disney's ever done.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
That entire movie is about violence towards women and kids and
Wow, it kind of is.
terrible towards dogs, Native Americans, pirates, again, children.
Wow. I hadn't even thought. Yeah.
It's a rough watch. My favorite growing up, right now. We're not here for that.
No, we are
It's
not.
Friday vibes. We're not drinking because Hankster is so clean. We could not compromise his heater with any booze or alcohol.
Nope. I'm locked in.
If you do
I'm
this
locked
weekend.
in.
Breckenridge Brewery at the bar. Avs tonight. It's a big one, and I know Hankster has some thoughts on how this game's going to go. He went
Yeah.
undefeated yesterday. We gave out some winning parlays. That's how we're starting, kids.
Yep. There's an odds boost. We're gonna take it. Nate and Kale to combine for over 3.5 points, plus 500. You got to take advantage of stuff like that. Nate is the best player in hockey. Kale is the best defenseman in hockey.
Hey, thanks.
You're welcome, Kale. But yeah, like they're gonna put up a bunch of points, and we were talking about this earlier in the first leg. They could. That only means you need 2 goals. Like, it's easy to look at that number, get scared away. A Nate pass to Kale, and that Kale pass to Mikko for a goal. Guess what? There's 2 points in terms of this prop. Love this. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy that these are the picks you're giving out, but when you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
Yep.
And you've always been a big game hunter. That's
That's
where
the
you're
name
at
of the
your
game.
best. That's how you've gotten on this run
Yep.
in general, is big game hunting, not
Yep.
shying away and trying to pick your wins here and there.
No throwing like
You're
a
going all in.
quarter unit on a long shot. No, if you're going to bet something, you bet it. And these are the things we're betting. We're also going to take Avs to win just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's minus 117.
Yeah.
And this team is too much better not to take that. I'll say this. The first 2 games, I was absurdly confident.
Yes.
There was I
Yes.
put quite a large sum of money on the Avs in both of those games.
Yes.
This game, I'm not quite feeling that way. At the same time, you look at these 2 teams and say, who should win this? The Avs should win. And there's the thing that everybody always says about the Knights where it's like, okay, well, what if Fleury gets hot? It's like, yeah, that's a thing. But also, what? Hasn't gotten hot in, I guess he only played one of these 2 games. He was cold as hell for 3 games before that.
Some real struggles.
Yeah, until he proves it, I'm going to keep riding the Avs because they keep proving it. And then Nuggets to win the series against the Suns, plus 175. That's good value. Now's the time to just get in on it. It's a good bet. It's going to feel good to watch it. And maybe now's a good time to say it, but my plan, I'm going to parlay the Avs tonight with...
Yeah, now is the time to say it.
Yes, big game Hank. Yes, we are. I
I think
got
so.
to this.
I think
yep,
so.
Yeah.
I think you've earned it.
He's not taking the cheese anymore. It's he's big game hunting now. Yeah. he's
To
big
me,
game.
like at this point, like the way I look at these series, those are my big bets. Is I feel like over a 7-game sample size, that gives you like a lot of opportunity to just be correct. And I like betting the Avs series. I like this Nugget series line as well. And that's why if you can kind of build some value onto that series line before the series starts, that's what I like to do. If I could get like somehow like 5 units on it just by for example, parlaying the Avs win tonight with that, obviously some risk involved, but that's going to be my strategy too.
It's going to be so interesting, too, with this Phoenix Nuggets series. Who benefits most from that extra day of rest starting Monday? Man, that's going to be a fun one.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's go to my big three. We started off with Avs over 3 goals. You're getting that, a plus value. They have scored 3 goals or more in every single playoff appearance they've had this season. The only time they have scored merely 3 goals was Game 2's overtime win. I think they go well over that. This is just a high-octane hockey team, and I think there's a bit of an overreaction off that last game, which was by far Vegas's, their best fighting chance, let's say, and Avs still came away with the win. I think you'll see a lot more consistency from the defense. I think you'll see a lot more consistency from the bottom 6, who are undoubtedly pretty shaky in several key stretches in Game 2. Then I'm taking Luka Doncic to record a double-double. He's only done that twice this postseason. That's in 5 games. But we do have 2 paths here. He accounted for all but 7 shots in the last game as far as assisted or scored on his own. Just incredible. And I think he'll get it easily with the assists, but he's a great rebounder too. So I've got 2 paths there. And Man Rock in a key game where I think, there's probably a little too much action on the Clippers, and don't sleep on the Mavs. And then give me Gabriel Landeskog, the captain, Man Rocket, over 2.5 shots, minus 143. I think a big part of the Avs' struggles in the final 2 periods in Game 2 was just not having that presence in front of net, in front of Fleury to really bother him. And that's something that Gabe has been phenomenal at all postseason. I think he'll get back at that, and we're going to cover this over easy breezy in our sleep. So, I'm feeling good about this one, and I'm feeling good that you're not super confident.
Interesting.
Yeah. My show host's lack of confidence is something that always gives me tremendous confidence.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be confident, it's easy to. Could the Avs have possibly played worse? I really don't think so. Outside of shooting at their own net, I don't think they could have played worse. And they still were able to get a win out of it.
There were some turnovers that almost felt like shooting on your own net.
Very
frankly.
true.
Yeah, some
Very true.
really crisp assists for Vegas. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be high scoring. Groovy's locked in.
She sure is.
And they started to create some quality opportunities. Vegas did, and definitely hit some posts, but that's a problem for them. They definitely even where they're dominating possession and they're holding you on, in your side of the ice, how much are they taking advantage and really creating those quality chances, So
they just aren't all that explosive. They aren't
100%.
scary in that way.
Yeah.
But again, that's what they're good at. They're going to get pucks in. They're going to fight well. The forecheck is going to be strong, and they're going to make it kind of an ugly game. And I think the Avs kind of rolled over there for a bit. They weren't willing to go dig those pucks out, get them up the ice, make the important passes. Just wound up getting pinned back and pinned back and pinned back.
Well, and I think they almost looked, you come off 5 dominant postseason performances.
Yeah.
I think they just thought they could basically lace them up, go out, and beat anyone.
That's what I thought.
I think they were a little rattled when they were like, oh, snap, we got to step our stuff up to playoff level.
And then what happened? In overtime, they looked much better.
Yes.
Late in the third,
Yes.
they took a little step. They made it close to even, but
No,
they played their best hockey at the end of the game, and that's what you want to see.
Absolutely. Top line was extraordinary and really kind of carried the load.
Yeah.
I love that. I will say another line I feel pretty good about going into this Avs game. Nathan McKinnon to score plus 123.
Never a bad bet.
1 goal.
Never a bad bet.
Yeah, you gotta love that. All right, before I have some quandaries for you, our dilemma of the day, what have you? Let's get in. Let's shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook, number 1, as I always do on the show. Number 1, Henry.
Ooh, look at
Sooner
those
or later,
shadows.
we're gonna get a foam finger. Oh wow,
I just threw mine away.
Peter Pan's. No.
I had it was a foam finger just for your finger. I got
Whoa.
it. Yeah, no, you just put it on the one finger. And I was moving apartments, and I was like, well, the Pac-12 gave me this little foam finger the little Pac-12 guy. But I was like, am I ever going to use this? And now it
Oh.
turns out, literally a week later, after having it sit there in the closet for 2 years, there was a need for a finger foam finger.
Devastating, Henry.
I know.
Anyways, DraftKings Sportsbook, #1 sportsbook in the land. It's where you get all the odds for all these great picks. It's where we parlayed the Nuggets line and the over last night. There's just great deals abound left and right. You've always got something going on. For example, the fun McCarr Mac over 3.5 points combined boost that Henry's getting in on. The series lines. And this week, new users who get in, use code DNVR, and you can place $1 on any NBA team to win. And if that team wins, you'll win up to $100. Again, use code DNVR on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, the #1 app in all of the land. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Bonus comprised of first deposit bonus and first bet match, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Let me say hi to Robert in the chat, who's in there and started it off by saying hi. Hi, Robert. How are you? Love the Avs' chances tonight. By the way, Henry, we didn't get a chance to talk about this in leg 1. Avs to win the cup. What would you venture there at?
I check every day, so I know. Plus 110 still?
Plus 110.
Dude, they're so good. They're so good. And I think for
Wow.
like on the Buffs podcast, which you guys should listen to, DNVR Buffs podcast.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out. Good stuff.
For 3 weeks in a row ahead of the playoffs, I was able to justify the DraftKings pick of the week being, make sure you have your bet in on the Avs to win the cup because it's going to happen. At the time, it's like plus 400. And then there was a boost one week. It was like, well, now it's plus 5. And it's like, guys, you got to get in on this. It was so obvious, and we're making our money.
But, I mean, 6 games for that to have jumped to plus
It's crazy.
110.
And
Not. I mean, and this is the Stanley Cup playoffs.
yeah.
The most parity, the hardest one to win, the one where the favorites always have the toughest path.
There is no tough path for the Avalanche. You know what's so crazy about it?
It's crazy.
The Avs are going to be better next year.
Because of how young they are?
Yeah. They're still
No, I
just
mean, you're
growing
right.
and improving.
No, Newhook and Byram, 2 top 20 picks.
Byram,
Just starting.
I want Byram on the ice. I know this isn't the
Yeah,
podcast
that
for
would
this
be fun.
conversation,
That
but
would be lots of
Byram
fun.
needs to get on the ice.
That would be lots of fun. So that's kind of our thoughts on the Avs. We're talking Avalanche,
We
not
sure
Nuggets.
are. Who would?
Mentioned though you can bet $1 to win 100 new users any NBA game. We obviously like the Nuggets. We also like the Hawks.
We do.
We think there's some real value on Hawks taking on the Sixers with Joel Embiid out. Very intriguing. With that said, though, let's go to the dilemma of the day because, Henry, I've got questions for you. The first one being, what are we parlaying this weekend?
I mean, for me, I'm starting with some little parlays that are like one thing along with that Nuggets series line. I mentioned
so
that.
You've got like your go-to weekend pop in for the parlay. What is it? It's Avs to win game 1.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Avs are going to be in it. Let's see. That can
I'm
be
sorry, Avs to win game 3 tonight, you were telling me off
Yeah.
air, right? Okay,
Yep.
so you're parlaying that with like everything.
I think Colin
Everything
Morikawa
around.
teed off like an hour ago.
Wow.
I'm going to put a bet in on him at plus 600 now.
Okay.
A little bit. I wanted to do it yesterday. The odds slipped a little. He's just good and he's fun. So I think I'll probably take that. And see, like, that's one I might even just it's not even worth parlaying it with like an Avs championship bet. Because that's the other thing you like to do because it's the only way to get value there.
Plus 110. You're
It's but just why? Why not take my 6 units if he just wins this instead of making it 12? Because it is Stanley Cup playoffs, and knock on wood, but somebody could get hurt.
Yeah,
There's ways that this gets derailed.
and you don't want to be too bullish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm liking the Mavs tonight. We talked about this earlier. I think the line has actually moved since we talked earlier. It was plus 130. Now it's plus 120. I think that's
interesting.
That's the better basketball team. They're playing at home. We talked about, the road team has won all these games, but
That series is Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. The Clippers are also getting into both shots late in games because Kawhi and PG-13 aren't demanding the ball, you know? And so Luka's always got the ball in his hands. He's always getting them the kind of shots and possessions you want. The Clippers are really struggling.
Yeah.
And what do I care as a bettor? Trust me, you're going to care as a bettor when you've got the Clippers and all of a sudden they're just blowing offensive possession after offensive possession because they're not getting the ball in the hands of the right guys late. I tell you what, my parlay of the weekend is going to be the same one we gave out on leg one. It's the series lines for Hawks and Nuggets parlayed together.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I'm going to be in on that too. I mean,
I just think you have to. But I do see that Austin Novak is asking for an MLB, NHL, NBA parlay for tonight.
We have to give it to him.
When the GOAT obliges. Actually, how are those big threes going, Austin? How'd yesterday go? I know you came in. It was 2-6. Low start on the first three, but let me know how yesterday went because I know you had MPJ in there. I know you're on the up and up, man. So keep us updated, please, on that. Okay. Hoops-wise, what are you feeling?
I'm feeling the Mavs. And, you know, if in the parlay, usually I don't want to get greedy and say, like, I'm taking the money line because whatever. But I do think I'm taking the money line here just because 3 points doesn't really entice me that much in this game. You know, I think the paths to this game are either the Clippers go out there and they're like, we're not losing this game, and they go out there and go win it pretty clean, or it's a close game. I like you said, if it's a close game, I kind of like the Mavs, and that's why I'm leaning toward that plus 120 anyway.
Are you more bullish on the Mavs? Oh, 3-0 yesterday. Let's go, Austin. Atta baby.
Me and you,
Way
Austin.
to go.
Were you 3-0 too?
No, 1-2.
Oh, no.
Ryan 2-1.
Oh.
So lots of dubs.
That is a lot of dubs. It's a team game.
Does it change your mind on the Mavs if I told you that a boost has recently been added to get the Clippers money line at plus 100 instead of minus 155?
So that actually is tempting. I still lean Mavs just because I do think that they're going to pull it out.
Be such a weak hedge opportunity, but there is a little something there, right?
Yeah. It definitely is tempting because I do think this is a close game, and I do think that these odds should be pretty close. I still just think the Mavs are going to pull it out, and I can't quite take it. If it was any more than plus 100, though, that's when you start to get me.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to, like, who do you trust, essentially? Who will you not be kicking yourself for having picked them?
True.
Like, in 3 hours when you're sweating this out, and that does feel like the Mavs. So, again, the road teams won every game. I mean, there's just zero confidence one way or another, but that's a parlay for you, kids. Okay.
Yep.
Canadians, Jets. So tough, too. So, because Montreal's coming off that big win, but then they end that game with that horrendous hit.
That's right.
So now, even though they're coming off that win, they're, like, extra motivated because their guy just, like, got killed on the ice. The Jets, because of that, have one of their best players suspended, and yet the Jets are favored here.
So I was at the Avs game when that happened, and I was just like sitting there, and then my mom texted me, and she said, "Stretcher coming out in the Montreal game," and I was like, "Okay, weird, whatever." And then the next text she sent said, "Scheifele should be jailed." And I was like, wait, what just happened? And then eventually saw it. It's like, yeah, you can't do things like that. You can't do that.
They were singing the national anthem at the Avs game, and the game was on in the press box, and all the media members were silently staring at the TV with like their hands.
Yeah, it was ugly. Hockey can get ugly.
It's
the margins are so slim
when you're going that fast.
Exactly, and if you're an instant late, it just changes everything. And when you're that late on an obvious goal, and it just... So
I don't know. I think there's value on Montreal here.
Yeah. I mean,
they've been better in goal. I think they're super motivated, and they've got the less heavy absence.
Yep, and you feel...
There's Scheifele's a huge absence for the Jets, man. God bless you.
I'm back.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it tempting to do something like Montreal +1 and maybe make it just a little bit of a hedge here, just in case that it does come down to the wire or something. You get bailed out a little
So you're
bit.
saying the puck line?
Yeah. Like if you're going for a parlay, because this is one that it scares me, if I'm being honest. This is the leg I look at and say,
Well, it's a toss-up.
yeah.
It's a toss-up. I mean, it's minus 286. We're giving up a lot of value, but I'm okay with it. I can drive with that. Let's find a good
Yeah.
MLB bet. Let's find a good
That's
MLB
tough.
bet here. Scherzer versus Wheeler on the mound.
Scherzer's
huh?
where my brain went
You're
first.
giving me Scherzer minus 112. We're just taking that. Austin, who are you? You're taking the St. Louis Cardinals, right? That's your MLB pick, isn't it? At minus 134. So we could take Washington out, put them in. Oh, plus 420. How very Colorado of us.
It'd also be kind of fun to take Ohtani.
To add Scherzer in there.
Scherzer too.
Oh.
Ohtani.
Should we
Home
do
game.
3 legs? 3 MLB legs?
Let's do it.
Oh, John Gray
Let's
on the mound,
do
huh?
it.
Let's go.
I know, and you want to bet on him because you're like,
Yep.
because my thought process is because they're playing the A's, who I watch once every 4 years or whatever when they
Nice.
play the Avs,
Nice, yeah.
and I have no idea who that pitcher is. So you're like,
Rockies,
yeah,
yeah.
take John Gray, and it's like I just can't.
The A's are actually good most of the time. That's plus 1442. 'Tis a baby beluga, folks. So yeah, I think we're getting all in.
What was that one? So it was Nationals, Angels,
Nationals,
The-
Angels,
plus 1.5 on the Canadiens.
Cardinals,
Cardinals.
plus 1.5
That's right.
on the Canadiens, and then we're going with the fighting Lucas.
Love it. This is gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, I think so too. Henry, quandrums for you. Could you identify which Paul brother is fighting Tyron Woodley and which is fighting Floyd Mayweather Jr.? Now,
Oh, it's okay.
I don't need you to identify them in a lineup. They are twins after all, so I'm told.
okay.
They're not twins. So there
I
you go.
Totally believed you. You had me.
Swing and a miss on that one, folks.
So
Logan or Jake, though, do you know who's fighting who? Do you know their fighting resumes? But more importantly, I want to know, does Eddie, your younger sister, a.k.a. the mayor of Cool, and what is hip and current in my view and mind, does she know which Paul is which?
do you know which Paul is which?
Yeah.
We'll just have to
Let's
wait and
see.
see when she gets
Let's
back
see.
to her.
Yeah.
Me personally,
Yeah.
Jake Paul's the one who's like a confirmed shitty person, right? And then the other one's the one that we're like,
No, they both are shitty.
I
Okay,
know,
so-
but one is like absolutely we know for sure. The other one we're like,
Forrest.
oh, Logan was the okay. Oh, I've heard terrible things about Jake too. So they're both awful. Here's the thing: there's no point in differentiating. Just watch. No, don't even watch them get knocked out. That's what's so dumb
I
about
will
all
say-
this is that they have been able to turn people wanting to see them get punched in the face into money for themselves.
Yeah.
It's like it reminds me of something else that I saw on Twitter recently, but we're not getting into that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great that we shouldn't know who is who. As a bettor, though, who bets on boxing, I would actually love to know who is who.
Yeah, but again, I refuse to watch, so I have zero
You
insight.
don't know. Okay.
If you're
You
going to
don't know.
bet, I would feel better betting against them, so that you're at least like on.
Yeah, no, that's
You
my
get to-
thing. We were big on Ben Askren.
That's
Ryan and I, as podcasters, we can't, and people who are on YouTube 5 days a week, we can't fathom that someone who's a podcaster on YouTube could get in and actually beat a professional fighter.
that is true.
And we have.
Could you fathom going into doing the terrible things that they've done over and over? What's
Can't.
crazy is you can
Can't.
just like apologize. Like it's like yeah.
I'm told it's working for them. Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, I'm sorry, shouldn't have done it, and everybody's like, well, go be funny again, and we're cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, Austin tells us to be careful with the Nats game because Wheeler's been great. Well, that's how we're getting such great value on Scherzer. But yeah, you're right. It's I mean that was the bad bet of the night.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably our worst.
Whether you were in on the joke or not, we give out a bad bet every
Yep.
night, and that was our baby beluga stupid parlay of the weekend. So there you go.
Gotta try. It's the weekend.
Got to try it. It is the weekend. Come to the DNVR bar.
I'll be here.
Enjoy the Avs tonight. Enjoy the Avs Sunday. Let's go Nuggets Monday. Henry, thanks for doing this.
Well, thanks for having me, Dre.
This was extraordinary. He goes 3-0 again. He might just be replacing me on the show. So stay tuned for that next week. Thanks for everything, fellas. Best of luck tonight.